guys, welcome back. I'm Annie and this is Historically Fashioned. Today is Monday. What is it? February 28th? Yes, February 28th. So I can't believe February is over. That is insane to me. And I still have not finished the bodice, which is right here behind me. There it is, looking in worse shape than it was on Friday, the last time I saw you. So on Friday, I discovered, I got it all ready to put the collar on, and discovered the collar was entirely too large, about 2 inches too large, really. I'm going to show you the pattern pieces here in a minute. To say that I was a little bit frustrated was an understatement, but it's completely my fault, and that's because I'm lame and didn't take into account the fact that I made quite a few alterations to the bodice. I shortened the shoulders a bit, especially in the back, and I had to pinch out quite a bit here along the center front because it was very loose through here. I'm not particularly well endowed. So yeah, I had to pinch out quite a lot of that in order to get that to fit properly. So it changed the length of my my neck, the circumference of my neck. So yeah, not at all surprised when I look back on it, and I should have thought about that before. So I wound up having to make quite a few adjustments to my patterns. I haven't put those adjustments into practice yet. So I took off the trim on one side, and because I needed to take off the plastron, and I was originally just going to take this off and I'm going to change the way I'm doing the neckline and everything. But then I realized, yes, the same applies for the plastron. I did not take into account the change in size along the front. It is about, what did I take off here? 3/8 of an inch on each side of this center front. So what is that? 3/6/8, which is, I can do math, not really, about half an inch on each side, half an inch altogether. No, I can't math right now. I can't. I'll figure it out and I'll put it on the screen because I can't math. So yeah, I had to take this off, and I had to take the right front off of the bodice, the back, so that I can make all the changes that I need to do. So the plan is to cut a new plastron and a new the back for the plastron with the new neckline shaping. And I also need to adjust, I don't think I did that on my pattern yet, I need to adjust the length of the shoulders up here because this is too long. Because again, I did take some length out of the front as well. So that is what I'm going to focus on today. I think it's just getting things cut out. It is again a little bit late because I went to edit my flip through of my Delineator magazine, and I don't know what happened to the footage, but this footage got corrupted, so I had to refilm that this morning. So I'm getting started late today. So we'll see what we can We'll see what we can get done. I'm not going to hold my breath because the way this project has been going, nothing has been going according to plan. So I think part of it is I'm not under the gun. It's not really due until next, January or something? I don't know. So yeah, I don't feel the need to get it done, but I also want to get it done because I know if I set it aside, I'm not going to start on the other projects that I actually need to get done, like some summer weight blouses and stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and move over to my patterning table so I can show you all of this stuff and show you what I did. I didn't film the process because I was kind of trying to figure it out as I went along, and I did it kind of late last night. So let's move over there and I will show you what I'm going to do and maybe get these things cut out. Okay, so let's talk real quickly about what is going on here. All right, so like I mentioned in my intro there, I realized what the problem was with my collar. So let's take a look at my collar pieces first. Here are the pattern pieces for this collar. This is the original as it was in the pattern. I think this is right side up for you. It is upside down for me. I drafted a new collar based on the measurements of my new neck hole edge. And you can see that it's quite a bit smaller. If I layer this right on top, it is a good 2 inches smaller. So I took off over an inch off the front as well as about a half an inch off the back altogether. So this has gotten much smaller, and I can't believe that actually fits around my neck. But there you have it. It actually does. I tried it and it does indeed fit. So who knew? I have a few different things going on with this. I've drawn a few different lines and seam allowances here. So if you take a look at the pattern illustration here, you'll see that there are 2 ways to do this collar. You can have this collar meet here right in the center and close with hook and eyes, or you can have it with a bit of a gap here in the front. And I think what I decided is I actually like this much better. And I think that the finish here along the neckline, along the plastron, is actually better for my fabric choices. It will be less bulky if I go ahead and bind it. So that's what I'm going to do. So I have on my collar, I have drawn, this would be the full length collar if it's going to close in the front, including the seam allowances. And this would be the stitching line for that. In order to have that bit of a gap, I have moved this over the length of my collar and made it a bit shorter and added a new cutting line here. So this is my 5/8 inch seam allowance. I could have made a smaller seam allowance since I was drafting this from scratch, but I wanted to keep it consistent with the rest of the pattern so that I did not get confused, because we all know I get confused easily. So that was actually fairly easy once I figured out what I needed to do. The next thing I had to do required a bit more brain power, because I just could not for the life of me figure it out. So these are the pattern pieces. I probably can see it better if I do it this way. This is the pattern piece for the plastron itself. So this is the outer fabric that you see when the garment is finished. And this is the plastron lining. Now, I don't know if you can see these lines I've drawn on here, but what I needed to do was keep this all the same width, but this needed to get narrower. So I needed to lose the most width up at the top and then go from there. So I was racking my brain trying to figure this out, and I had to go back to my flat pattern class days. I knew I needed some kind of dart here, but if I made a dart, it was going to make it poof out in the front in an unflattering way. So I struggled and struggled to figure out the very simple solution of drawing a line here at the point where I wanted that fullness to, be normal, and then drawing the dart legs in here. So I came out, I wish I would have taken at least a picture of this. I came out 3/8 of an inch from either side of the center line. You can see the center line here. I drew a dart from those points here to where this line intersects, and I cut along both of those dart legs. I cut along here, and then I just smooshed the pattern together. Then I filled in this little extra space that was created with a little extra paper, smoothed out the line, and here is my new pattern piece. So this is the lining that this piece is attached to, and I did exactly the same thing on this. So these necklines should, when all is said and done and this is gathered, they should match up and be all good. As far as how I'm going to finish it, so again, going back to the pattern here, you can see that this is actually bound with bias tape. So basically what you do is you take some bias tape, and let me get my finished example here so I can show you. And instead of using the facing, see I've got a facing here that I had stitched down. Instead of having a facing that you then turn and sew under, you are binding the entire edge in bias. And that goes across the neckline as well. From what I can at least tell, there's not real clear instructions, but that is what I'm going to do. So I have gone ahead and I have cut some bias strips. These are 2-inch bias strips that I will use to sew around the neckline like so, and then obviously turn and stitch under. And I think I'll get a much smoother finish here. It won't be quite as bulky because obviously this is a cotton velvet and it is pretty darn bulky, especially when we're getting up in here. So if I can cut down on the bulk using this method, I will. And so you basically bind all across the top edge and back down this side so that it's all finished. And I think that it'll look pretty nice when it's done. Yeah, if I had white silk, I would probably do that, but I don't actually have any white silk, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this blue silk to do this with, and hopefully it doesn't look too crazy. And so yeah, like from what I can tell, this goes all across the collar, and then you attach the collar when you're done. Or maybe it's just on this. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just on this part. I'm honestly not 100% sure. I will figure it out, but yeah, that is what we are going to do. No, you must, because yeah, it definitely is going here where you have the bodice fronts. So yeah, it looks like you're going to bind the entire front edge there as well as the plastron. So that is what I'm going to do. I need to cut out a new plastron today, a new plastron lining, new colors, new color facings, new color inner linings, and I need to get those all assembled and put together. I'm not sure how much of that I will actually show on camera, just because it's all kind of boring stuff, and my vlog, my last vlog was super long, which was really not my intent. So we shall see what I film, what winds up in here, and we will go from there. So yes, I guess I will see you back here to chat about it when it's all done. Okay, so I'm back. I have eaten lunch. I've gotten everything I need to get done. It is about 1:30 right now, so not too terribly late, but I do need to start dinner here shortly. Anyways, like I said, I did get everything done that I meant to get done. So now I have a bunch of little tasks to get myself back to the place that I was before I had to start all over again. So I've got the plastron and the plastron lining that need to be basted together, and then those both need to then be basted onto the front and then sewn onto the front. Then I need to put the trim back on. Then I need to prep the collar and see about getting the collar on. Again, I doubt I'm going to get all that done today because I am a very slow hand sewer, and this project this project is just, it's not liking me. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to go ahead, get started on those things, and then I will be back later to let you know how far I got. Alrighty then, so it is 4 o'clock, and I swear to God, this project is it's just cursed. It's just cursed. The sum total of my work today involved, or since I last talked to you, getting the velveteen stitched down to the lining. I did that. So that's basted down. And then I made some bias strips and basted the bias strips on to the plastron. That is it. Just like everything else in this project, things that should be super simple, Luna, no. Things that should be super simple, like making bias strips, were not super simple. Cut all the bias strips, did that last night, good to go. And this morning, or this afternoon, when I stitched them together, I managed to stitch them so that I had seams on both sides of the strip. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, this project is cursed. It does not want to be finished. I have to wonder if there is just something going on with me, like psychologically when it comes to this project. I have like a mental block against it. I don't know. But I'm going to be done for today. The cats are hungry, and it's about time to start dinner. So I think that is going to be it for Monday, and I will pick it up tomorrow and hopefully get this binding actually stitched down and turned and looking hopefully somewhat pretty so that it is not like a total hot mess. Yeah, I think it'll look nice when it's all stitched down there. Yeah. So I'm gonna go and, like I said, do house things, feed the cats and all of that stuff. And yeah, I will see you back here tomorrow. All right, today is Tuesday, February 22nd. It is currently 1:50 and I am just now getting started in here today. I had some things to take care of this morning, and yeah, just didn't have time to get in and get sewing. Last night I was able to go ahead and stitch down the binding on my plastron, and I really do like that finish better than when I had just turned the facing inwards. It's a lot less bulky, so that makes me happy. So that part at least is done. However, I still have a very long list of things to do to get myself back to where I left off, and it actually got longer because I was thinking about it. I was reading through the instructions again, and there is a part here when you're attaching the collar that says, pin the collar to the neckline, right sides together, matching all marks, and baste before sewing, matching the front edge and shoulder seam carefully. Take care not to catch the plastron and front edges of the fashion fabric while sewing, nor showing the lining at point 8. So let's see. This has got the collar pinned on to the back at least. So this is the back, which is all fine and dandy. But the front here, I was trying to figure out, how do you stitch the collar on without catching the fashion fabric here? It seemed like an impossible task because, I mean, you don't have 5/8 of an inch up here at the corner. This is the shoulder, right? There's no way to not catch the fashion fabric. And then I took a look at my pattern pieces for the lining, and I realized I had lined it up incorrectly. So we have two different lines on this pattern. Here you have the stitching line and the front edge of the fashion fabric. What I had done was stitch it down along this line instead of this line. So yeah, now I get to take that out, at least of this side, which means I have to unpick the shoulder seam and then undo all of this. Luckily, this side is just basted. It's not actually sewn down yet, so there's that small favor. The other side is clearly completely apart, so I'm just going to start from scratch there. And that just makes more sense because like I couldn't figure out why my pleats were like not deep enough. So I'm going to go ahead and undo this and undo the pleats at the bottom so I can make those a little bit deeper. So basically I'm just pretty much starting over on the front bodices again. So for today I have things to do. I need to unpick that, reset the pleats, baste my plastron onto the right front, then get it all sewn down, put the trim back on this side, and I'll be lucky if I manage to get that done today before 4 o'clock. And then of course I still have to prep the collar and attach the collar, and I have a lot to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm probably not going to show any of that. My vlogs have been way too, well, okay, my one vlog was way too long, and I do want to try to cut that down and make it a little less long. What are you doing? Are you having fun? Yeah, you're having good times? I'm so glad you're having fun down there. Luna has got a toy and she's playing with it wrapped around my leg. It's her favorite thing to do. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on those things, and then I will come back and update you and let you know how far I got. Okay, so it is just 10 after 4 now. I've got to stop sewing for a bit and get these kitty cats some food. I did manage to get, well, on the left side, I just managed to get the trim, excuse me, not the trim. I managed to remove the basting and then repin this. Needs to be basted down along the stitching line, which is actually underneath the trim, so I'm glad I didn't sew both sides on, so I can just go right in there and baste along that edge there. Then that one will be ready for assembly again. This one I did manage to get the plastron on in true Annie fashion. I managed to have to restitch it because I caught the lining underneath and had to unpick it and do it again. And then I also managed to get started on stitching the trim back in. So that's all I managed in all of that time. I'm going to stop for a bit. I may actually just go ahead and just end what I'm doing here. I'll probably continue sewing, hand sewing, because it's all hand sewing, later this evening while I just sit and watch TV with the family. But I'm going to end for today here. Again, not much progress. Hopefully that will change now that I've got the kinks worked out. I hope, and I can just power through this bodice. I would like to finish it this week because I have some summer sewing that I'd like to get started on. Anyhow, I'm going to go for this evening. I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Okay, so today is Friday. I got 0 sewing done on Wednesday and Thursday. On Wednesday, I wound up having a job interview that took a little bit of time to prepare for and actually do. And then on Thursday, I had, my daughter had a few appointments, and I had to take care of a few things, and I just didn't make it into the sewing room. So the only thing I actually did manage to accomplish across those 2 days was actually stitching these shoulder seams on the bodice. That is it. So we are going to continue with that today. I need to finish prepping the collar. I do have it, you know, to this stage here, so I need to catch stitch these 3 sides down, and then I need to attach the collar. Once I get the collar attached, I can stitch up the side seams and finally move on to the sleeves. So wish me well. Hopefully that collar goes on this time with no issues. I will see you back here and let you know how it goes. Okay. Ooh. All right, so here is where I am so far. I was able to get the collar on, and I was able to get the side seam stitched together. Of course, I'm going to have to take those both out just because the collar somehow, first it was too big, now it's too small. I did test fit it, so I guess it must be the canvases. I don't know. Now it's too small. So I'm going to have to extend the collar a little bit. I might be able to get away with just extending the seam allowances. Might have to cut a whole new one. We shall see. But yeah, I think I am okay with the fit. I'm going to see if I can move you down a little so you can see the whole thing. Yeah, so that is how it's looking so far. I am actually quite pleased with it. I think there's something a little funny going on here, which I thought I'd solved in the mock-up process, but I don't know. It might be solved once I get the sleeves on and this is actually pulled down by the sleeve. That might actually fix the problem. But yeah, I think I like the way it fits here. It's just I need to work out the collar. Surprise. So I think I am going to go ahead and take out my side seams. I probably should have just basted them. But take out my side seams and take the collar off, fiddle around with that, see how far I can get. It is currently 3:03, so I'm not sure how far I will get with that this afternoon. But we'll see how far. We'll see what I can do. But yeah, I think I really do like it. I think it's super pretty and it's definitely the vision that I had. And also I would like to point out that, yeah, you should never wear hair canvas next to your skin. Oh my gosh, that is so itchy. I'm going to go take this off. I don't know, maybe leave the corset on. We shall see. See what I get done, and I will be back to let you know how that goes. Okay, so it is just about 4 o'clock, so I'm going to call it quits for this evening. I went ahead and cut out another mock-up of my collar, got it basted on, and I hopefully that will actually work this time. It does seem to fit now, but the other one did as well, so hopefully that'll work. I did go ahead and cut out the fashion fabric as well. I do need to cut out the lining still, the inner lining. I haven't done that yet, so I need to cut out the hair canvas and then we'll go from there. While I was cutting, I decided that I was going to go ahead and angle these shoulder seams out a little bit. I don't know if you can see that here, but I just angled this seam so that it would give me a little bit more room around my neck because it was feeling a little bit tight. Yeah, so I guess that's where I'm going to leave it today. I may or may not work on it later this evening. If I do, it's probably just going to be prepping that collar again and maybe getting it attached. So I guess that's where I'm actually going to leave it for the week. I am back to where I started last week, so that's good, I guess, at least. Yeah, so I guess that's it for this week, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.